Hey guys, it's Samaris. Today I have a bit of a surprise for you. I have a replay from Simon783. He uploaded this to What Replays and I downloaded it. And I think it is a great replay for the channel because unlike most of the replays I feature, Simon783 has 1700 recent win 8 instead of, the 3000 or whatever that. Normally I try to feature players who are dark to purple, basically. So Simon783 is a lot closer to the average player. And I get to commentate on everything he does because he makes a bunch of minor mistakes that I guarantee you'll be making too. And it's basically me commentating on what I expect my average player to play like, but he gets an amazing game. And I think you'll get to see why and what I think he could have done better and so on. So he's on the map Abbey. It's a standard game. And on Abbey, you want to take a heavy to either the 9 line or the 1 line, depending on where you think the enemy team will go. The 1 line provides you a more strategical play because you get to win the 2 line, which controls the mid. But honestly, on a map like this, it doesn't really matter. If you think you're going to kill all 8 enemy tanks on the 9 line, go to the 9 line and kill the majority of the enemy team because that's going to also win you the game. So comes over to the 2 line, great. Now he comes to this side right here. There's a T-77 in front of him, and this brings me to the first issue of the play. So he comes to this position, great. There's no arty, so he doesn't have to worry about that, and he's just going to hold this angle. Suddenly a 140 appears, and he goes for the tracking shot. Now, I don't think that was a good shot to take because the 140 didn't know that Simon was here. Simon's not spotted at this time, and he tells the 140 he's here by shooting him in the track, and that actually scares the 140 back. You can see the Mod 1 makes the mistake the 140 would have made if he hadn't been shot, and the Mod 1 loses all of his HP. So by not shooting the 140, the guy would have likely pushed in, lost about 1000 HP. It would have made the win a lot easier. Now, Hawk 12's in the mid, and you can see this is why you want to take the 2 line. You get to shoot at tanks in the mid. If you have people where the CS59 is up here, you don't really have to worry about getting shot as you push in, so this play works really well. Now, Simon's stopping right here. This opens you up to TDs camping in the back. So if they had an RHM, STRV, and WZ, those guys can actually shoot you through this bush because they'll be in your base, and so you do need to watch out for that. I think generally you want to just cross as quickly as possible because you might get hit by a grill or something most of the time when you play on this map. Now, he crosses, and this is great, especially because he has someone in the CS59's position. He doesn't really have to get farmed in the rear because his team controls the middle of the map, and so if your team controls the middle of the map, you can push the 2 line like he is. Now he's got the Samua and the WZ in front of him. He chooses to go for the WZ. I think that's a good call right there. The Samua was reloading, the WZ's the main threat, and now he's able to use his E5's DPM from a hull down position using this 140 as cover just to try to kill this WZ right here. Now, definitely he looked at the 140. You would want to just kill guns at this point and always kill the WZ right there. And now Simon's a full HP top tier tank with 2k damage who's pushing into what looks to be a crossfire. So this is actually a really good situation to be in. If you're in an E5, I know I said you're in a crossfire, but what you can see is these guys aren't looking at him right now, and he's got this 140 right here. I would personally just trade alpha with the 140 if I got the chance because you can do 400 to 320 with him, and you can see Simon's going to try to do that. Now, he gets lucky, the 140 bounced, but I think taking the hit on average would have been a fine play as well, so I don't think he made a mistake right there. And then suddenly, the enemy team is turning around. So, on average, you would expect the E4, T110, T44, and so on. Like, basically, you would expect his team to start pushing in right here. And Simon's not in a compromised position with the 60 TP focusing him like this. So, basically, by being here, Simon's forcing the 60 TP to turn his tank around, and that gets the 60 TPs killed because the guy's trying to run away, basically. So, really easy kill right there. E75 is looking away. And Simon's going to push into this 140. Now, this is going to be often a mistake to push around this corner like this, because what will happen on this map is someone will, generally speaking, be here. And if you didn't have tanks on the 1 line, which he does, so it's fine, you'd kind of be pushing into a 3-break crossfire with a tank here, an E75 here, and a 140 here. Now, as you push in, you also need to be aware of who's unspotted, because any heavy tank that's unspotted could be on the 9 line, but they could also just be a bot who's really late to the fight and is either down here or sniping. Like, it's very likely, and this often happens, that someone unspotted goes to defend this flank from this corner right here. So Simon's pushing in, and you can see there's nothing where I said, so it actually works out. Now, he gets ammo racked here. It's fine. I don't know why he has a large med kit over a large repair kit, but whatever, he has that, and so he's not able to repair the ammo rack. He's ammo racked at this point. And you can see he's got the E75 behind him. Now, he chooses to shoot at the E75 instead of the 140, and because of what I said, there could be a tank up here. I absolutely think that's the right shot, and you can see he's not pushing into the 140. The guy's actually going to be hauled down as he falls back, and this is the right idea. Now, Simon pokes around the corner. And I know it's the dumbest thing, but what happened to Simon in this game, expect it to happen to you. You never want to give your side to this angle right here, because someone is almost always going to be down. Now, because Simon doesn't have a large repair kit, he risks getting shot by the 140. Most people would have reversed right there, and Simon drives forward. That's the right thing to do. The E5 has a really slow reverse speed, and he just drove forwards to get safe in the E4. That was a lot better of a play. Now, looking at the map, the enemy team has a Lorraine in the mid, a Hawk 12 in the mid, and this E4 over here, and that guy's basically full HP. So Simon sees the E4 kill his T77, and he decides to turn back. This is the right idea, because if he doesn't turn back, what will happen is the E4 will be on a ridge above him, and where that AE phase 1 is, see, that's who I would have expected to be on H2, but there he is. I think turning back to the E4 is better, because he prevents becoming in a crossfire with the AE phase 1 and the E4. Now, E4 rams him and tracks him. I'm going to comment on this brawl, because it's really important. What he should have done here is he should be using this E4 for cover. I think that would make things a lot easier, as opposed to trying to flank. Now, RHM appears out of nowhere. That's whatever. And what he's doing right here is he's trying to block this E4 shot with his gun barrel and just not get penned by the E4 right here. And this is the right idea. You can see the E4 bounces. That's lucky. The RHM bounces as well. And a lot of this would have been made easier if he'd just been simply using the T44 for cover against the E4. It would have made things way simpler against the RHM as well, who you wouldn't have expected to fight in that situation. Now, puts an HE shot into the RHM. Ramming him is really important here, because you want to make the RHM a 1-shot or a 2-shot if possible, as opposed to a 3-shot. He's able to kill that guy very quickly, and he's actually able to kill the RHM before the AE phase 1 flanks. So pushing into the RHM was the right call. Now, he's got a 1500 HP tank in front of him. He puts a shot into the track. Tracking him will get the AE phase 1's turret to turn, because the momentum of the tank will fuck up his aiming, basically. So that was a really good play right there. That's why the AE phase 1 would have bounced right here. Now here, he's putting his gun into the barrel of the AE phase 1. I think that's a good call. The AE phase 1 doesn't pen. And now, he's going to beat the AE phase 1's reload, because that guy just bounced, so he should be able to pick up the kill right there. And you can see with AP, he manages it. He's able to get his top gun. Now, at this point, he's got an SU-130 PM on the 9-line, a Hawk 12 who's in the mid, a Lorraine who's probably in the mid, and a 50 TP. What I would expect in this situation is you would kind of expect all these heavies to be really high hit points. None of them will be one-shots. It's just how games progress, and there you go. The WZ is on 1600 HP. I would expect the 50 TP to be relatively high. Could be wrong. I don't remember this far into the replay, but there you go. So he's pushing back into his base. You would expect in Lorraine and a Hawk 12 to maybe be pushing up the 1-2 line at this point. And keep in mind, they also have an unspotted STRV. And so this guy's likely to have been camping in the base all game at J5. And his progression as an STRV driver normally is to just drive into the mid. Like if you're a base camping TD, this is how most base camping TDs play. So they sit in the base all game and then drive forward. And so forward from J5 is like F5. That's where you'd expect the STRV to be in most situations. So he pops up to here. This is a really good play. He's going to get shots and people out of position, and he finds a 50 TP. So he gets that shot really good. The guy's now a 1-shot. Now, poking on this guy again would be contingent to someone being on the A line, and he's able to make it work, in my opinion. There you go. He picks up the kill on the 50 TP. So great job with that kill. I think that was a really intelligent engagement. Now you can see he expects someone to be behind him. He's at least checking his rear. What he's going to do is he's going to poke this once more, and then on the map you can see that Lorraine's right there. So turning his tank around, great choice. He lets the Lorraine pen him here once and then bounces once. This is a bad fight. He should just be side scraping off of this rock right here and hoping no one shoots him to the side, because this is where, in my opinion, things start to go south. So puts a shot to the Lorraine, and the Lorraine pens him twice. 588 damage. He's lucky he didn't die right here. He repairs his ammo rack. He's got the Hawk 12 YOLOing him. The Hawk 12 luckily misses. The Hawk 12 wouldn't have killed him anyways, because he's got more than 240 HP. He's able to get the kill in time, but he should not have taken the hits from the Lorraine. I think it would have been better just to play it safe, not get penned by the Lorraine, because that guy was able to, he had APCR loaded. He's always going to pen the lower plate of an E5. Side scraping would have been more intelligent there. Now, he's pushing in. I don't know why you would do this. Maybe if you expected the STRV to flank you, which is a fair play for an STRV to make, and you can see he's using this Lorraine for cover. Now, the STRV has an insane reload. He was behind the Lorraine. That was pretty reasonable right here. But what he's going to do here is a really, I don't necessarily agree with this play. So he gets close to the STRV, and he's going to try to circle him. This is not smart. The STRV is always going to be able to put a shot through your upper front plate, and probably what would have been better is after the STRV fired to maybe reverse to this angle and force the guy to push into you. You could always drop off the clip at C2. Like, if I go back, so he kills the Hawk 12. This is great. Like, really good job to him beating the Lorraine and the Hawk 12. From here, he pushes this angle. When you push this angle in this situation, you don't really want to go past the point of no return of this fight, and that is going to be this corner right here. If someone appears here and he's any more aggressive than this line, he's going to be out of position. And same, I would be expecting the WZ to be somewhere over here or something like this. It's like, or someone to be over there. And so if you expected someone to be on this flank, they're going to be up here. You really, once you verified that there's no one here, pushing further to me doesn't make much sense. I think it would be better to just turn around, expect them to be pushing through the mid, not to continue passing through here. Now, the STRV comes, and this guy luckily bounces this shot. So once that happens, can you reverse? Well, actually, I wouldn't say it's very practical in an E5, actually. So what he does is he decides to push in. The way he pushes in. So probably what happens here is the STRV shoots at his gun or shoots at his commander's hatch and hits the gun. That's great. This cover here would have been so much better because you could have hid your commander's hatch. So I get that you're stressed out. I'm just commentating. This is armchair generaling. If you have the luxury of figuring out what you're going to do, cover like this would have been better because you hide your commander's hatch. Here is also reasonable because you get to hide your lower plate, but YOLOing him, probably the worst thing you could really do. The STRV, it's like he will kill you in that context. His reload is insane, you know, but regardless, really good job. He did 10,091 damage, 52 HP. Hope I commentated well on kind of how it happened and what you could expect if you were to play on this map and kind of how to go through it. Main thing to take away is how he pushed through this funnel right here. Really good job. He took advantage of, even though he looked like he was in a crossfire, fighting the 140 when he could, fighting the 60 TP when he could. Really well done. So yeah, 9 kills. Let's go take a look at the end plates and we'll go from there. All right, now that was a master badge, 9 kills, 10k damage, high caliber Top Gun, Radley Walters, and like I said, master badge. His team did, his team was not the greatest, not gonna lie. The next best player did 3k damage into Chrysler. After that, the T-77 who was with him did 2k. No one below that really had an impressive result. The ISU fired 9 times, and no, he fired twice, penned twice. That makes a lot more sense for the ISU, 750 alpha damage, or it might be 850, but they should have changed that. E4 fired 5 times with HE. Are you kidding? Yeah, so that team was pretty dismal. Not much to say there, honestly. I thought the way he played, it wasn't fantastic, but I think the positions he used in the order that he used them were pretty decent. Timing not perfect. Commentated on what he thought he could have done better, but his push through the crosshair, people need to see that. That was really good. He was as aggressive as he could have been, and that type of play was what gave him the potential to have this sort of replay, because he won the one line without losing as much, like a shitload of HP. Because of that, he was able to beat the E4, the RHM, what was this guy? The British tank afterwards, and it was a pretty good game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, be sure to like and the subscribe button. Hopefully that leaves you with some sort of idea of how to approach the map Abbey, and I hope to see you for the next one. Bye for now.